right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 98
DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. And excuse the pause because we got the host as always. We don't have Nerdy in today, so instead we'll slide the former Husker as well and Chancellor Brewington up an hour early. We got Chancellor Brewington on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And again, if you guys want to join in like you did on the last one on the Don't Punt Hour, Starter Heyman text line still going to be open, 402-464-5685. Some great conversations there. A lot of Bear haters out there as well. I was expecting it. You get the number one pick, you're going to have a lot of people calling for a bust before they even played. But nonetheless, let's bring him in. Chancellor Brewington, how's it going on this Thursday night, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm sure the draft is the topic tonight.
Yeah, no, we're actually just going to talk about the upcoming MLS season. No, yeah, we're talking about the draft. It's going down here, and we got the picks in right now. Just a rundown for anybody who's out there who's in their car, they don't got in front of them, and they want to know how this thing's currently shaking out. Number one, you could have guessed it, Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears out of USC. 2, Jaden Daniels out of LSU to the Washington Commanders. 3, Drake May out of North Carolina heading to the New England Patriots. So you're 1, 2, 3, all QBs. And then you get to the Arizona Cardinals before you get your first skill player, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you get your first blue chip lineman, Joe Alt out of Notre Dame to the number 5th pick, Los Angeles Chargers. At 6, another wide receiver, LSU, Malik Neighbors to the New York Giants, which surprised me that they didn't go for a quarterback, but nonetheless. And then number 7, J.C. Latham out of Alabama, the offensive tackle to the Tennessee Titans. That one, don't hate it. I love blue chip linemen. It's typically a pretty safe bet, and he's a great run blocker out there. He proved that at Alabama. I was a little surprised that the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh wouldn't go ahead and try to grab him instead of Joe Alt, but nonetheless, I don't hate that pick at all. I think both those linemen are going to have pretty good careers, knock on wood, as long as they stay healthy. But that list right there, any things that you really like, and we'll start with those top 3, Chicago Bears, Washington Commanders, New England Patriots, the Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears. What do you like about it? What are you nervous about it, or do you hate it?
I like the Caleb Williams pick. I think the tough part about Caleb Williams is that I just don't know just don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Obviously, he's got a very loud person, not loud personality, but I would say he's different. He's a different prospect than we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And you can form your opinion however you want to, but to see how that translates to the league, I don't know. But we obviously know that he's a talent in itself. His pocket presence is very, very good. His awareness, his spacious awareness in the pocket, very elite. He can make throws that most guys can't. He's very accurate on the run. It seems like he's a very smart football player as well. So understanding the game, I don't think is a problem for him. I think just getting him in the right system and making sure the Bears do that. And then obviously with Jaden Daniels at number 2, I believe that he was probably the second best quarterback. I believe that. I still think and it was tough, and I want to hear your opinion. I still think Penix out of Washington. I still think he's very slept on. I think film-wise, I think he's better than Drake May. I think he has elite ball placement. He can run too, but it seems like he's very, very, very comfortable in the pocket. And I think that's what NFL quarterbacks all have a common trait in, that they're very, very comfortable in the pocket. But yeah, it's tough. Obviously, Patriots take Drake May at 3, but I wonder to see who takes Penix and
I'll break the news to you. The Atlanta Falcons just got him in at the number 8th pick. Michael Penix Jr. headed to the Atlanta Falcons.
There we go. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I think the talent they have there. You add, you got Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
You have, who else do you have? You have who's the
Bijan Robinson? They got that beast running back that they just picked up. Why shouldn't they pick up drafted?
Yeah, you got Bijan from Texas. He's an explosive back who's just going to catch more. He's going to catch more footing in the league, and he's going to excel at a rapid rate these next 2 years. And obviously Kyle Pitts and Drake London had a really, really good year. I'm not sure who's on the other outside, but getting some more talent around him, maybe beefing up the O-line, formulating a good defense. That's a great pick. That's probably the pick I'm most excited for.
Yeah, well, I will say this though, Kirk Cousins. They did pick up Kirk Cousins, so I'm starting. I like this.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Yeah, it's the NFL draft. There's a lot of names flying around. It's going to happen more than once for most people out there as they hear these names. They're going to get excited and be like, "Oh, that's right, I forgot. This team has this guy now." Especially with how active these trades are. But I still like it. I get you could go a different route, but they've gotten some pretty good skill players in place. And you could argue maybe you go for another blue chip offensive line. I just think those are always great picks. You need them. You absolutely need them. You see those offensive linemen. If you nail it, you got a guy that can be on your team for a long time and really lead out there. But we've seen this with Jordan Love. We've seen this with Patrick Mahomes. We've seen this with multiple quarterbacks now. Do you like the idea of bringing in a high draft pick, a top 10 QB into the room to go ahead and sit under a guy like a Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's hurt right now. Am I correct?
Yeah, he's still. I don't think he's gonna be ready.
Yeah, so I mean, there's still a possibility that he's not ready, and the young pup gets a chance. So I mean, I like the pick. I think people are sleeping on him. I think he might be the steal of the draft. He might be the pick that everyone looks back in 3 years, 4 years, and they say, "Wow, that was the pick that was really special." But yeah, I'm also excited for Marvin Harrison. I want to see him in the NFL, and with the Cardinals especially, they need a little firepower in the offense, and I think that he'll add a different boost.
Yep. Okay. And I take that back. Looks like he is going to be back for week 1 on the latest injury update. So week 1, it does make it a competition though, right? Because Kirk Cousins is going to be battling back, and maybe that's part of it, right? A little bit of stability there. You get another quarterback, and hopefully if Kirk Cousins is good and ready to go, I like that move a lot. And we were talking about it in the last show. You look at Justin Fields, and yes, if you're a Fields fan, it sucks because you won't see him start, but he's on a good team with a good, well, you can argue if the team's good or not, but a great coach. You can't deny that Mike Tomlin's done a great job getting every last bit of talent out of those Steelers teams. There's been how many years in a row where you finally think this is the year they finish under 500, and then Mike Tomlin does his thing and gets every lot, even with terrible offenses out there, he's still finding a way to do it with elite defense. I like it. You give the guy like Fields a chance to watch Russell Wilson, and when the time is right, you see what it looks like in practice, you develop him. Some of these QBs, I'm sure the coaches feel a little nervous about starting, but the pressure is there to start him. You don't have another QB that's arguably has a better chance. It'd be a waste of time. And then you put a guy out there that isn't quite ready yet. So I don't mind it for the Falcons. I think there's a few ways they could have gone with this one, but that one right there, not a problem. And excuse me if I had pauses from time to time because I do got the draft on the other screen here. And the Chicago Bears make their next pick. They get the Washington wide receiver as projected. Rome Odunze. I like it. What do you like about this pick? The wide receiver out of Washington to the Chicago Bears. You pair him with Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. You got great tight ends, DeAndre Swift in the running back room as well.
Yeah, I love it. And their tight end being Cole Kmet. Like I think they have a great team in general. I mean, their defense was I would say a top 5 defense last year, or I mean, top 7, top 8. But they're elite defense. And I think if you add in another playmaker who can learn under Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, has done some great things in the league. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not expecting Keenan Allen to play, 4 or 5 more years.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can, you can get some good years out of him being a real third down threat. The Washington receiver can stretch the field. So can DJ Moore. And you got Cole Kmet, a good safety net for some third down situations as well. Then you got DeAndre Swift in the back. Like you got a great team and all. I think it's just the Bears just need to really just execute, and it's really been on the offensive end of things. Defensive wise, they've stepped up huge, and a lot of players are young on that defense in the secondary specifically. So I think when those guys start to really step into some roles, step into some leadership, some veteran roles, and really expand their game and take their game to the next level, I think the Bears is a team to look out for.
Yeah, I didn't talk to you more than Pearsonell. That guy was putting the Bears down. We got some people in the text line in here. Shout out to Mississippi Mud Dog. I read the text because he's always frequent and he always chimes in, and he's always been a supporter of the ticket, even though he's a Green Bay fan. He's always chimed in. And he did talk about Caleb Williams chiming in here. Caleb Williams seems like he really likes himself, just seems toxic. And that is somewhat of a conversation. And you know what? I have to read it because he's not the only one saying that. A lot of people with the personality, the fingernails painting, just the pink phone. Right. I think the lips were photoshopped. If I'm mistaken, maybe he did put on lipstick, whatever. I don't care. If he cooks the league, that's only going to be better for everyone who's calling him out for that stuff. I really don't care. Right. As long as the play on the field correlates to the hype around him. And like you said, it is a great situation to be in. The real question is, do you trust Eberflus, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, to get this right? I'm kind of sold on Poles. They're spending money now. They're taking it, sad to say, they're taking it seriously. They're not okay with just being a trash franchise for how long. They're spending money to get better. They're even trying to get a new lakefront stadium, which looks nice. I know a lot of people don't like that lakefront stadium. Where am I going to park? I think sometimes we forget we can just walk a little bit. I mean, my Lord, the parking thing, it just drives me outrageous with that stadium. I'm freaking out. Just walk 5 minutes, 10 minutes and figure it out. They'll have public transit there as well, I'm sure, to get you closer. But the new stadium, and it's on the lakefront, you're going to feel that wind howling through as soon as they open those windows, if they choose to do so. So I like the new stadium. But the original question, I went on a rant there. Eberflus, head coach of the Chicago Bears. Do you trust him to get this right? I mean, this is a lot of promise, and you got some cheap players there as well, matched with some of the more expensive players if you're buying into the hype of these rookies they're drafting.
Yeah, I do. I think he possibly could be the guy for the job. I don't see, the tough thing about coaches is it's all like, you look back in hindsight and you look like, oh wow, that guy was a great coach. You don't ever, I feel like not a lot of times you're in the moment, like, beforehand, you're just proclaiming like, oh yeah, this guy's the one. You know, I think it's hindsight. You realize, oh, this dude actually did fit because of, you know, his past experiences or his philosophy or just, you know, the way he just coaches, his principles in coaching. So I think the Bears Bears fans in general have a lot to look forward to. I wouldn't put too high of expectations on Caleb Williams. I would be very graceful because he's stepping into a role where these Bears fans are no joke. They are some very harsh fans, and they're eager to win, and they're eager to excel, and they're eager to get back to their, you know, the 85 Bears. That's what they want to get back to. But I mean, it's tough. You know, it's tough. This league has a lot of great players, and I think Caleb Williams could be one of them. But it's going to be something we see week 1, week 2, week 3, and the whole year.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that scares me just any time with these young QBs is as soon as they step in, the NFC North is really tough right now too. You weren't expecting it from the Packers. The Lions, you maybe started believing, but now it's pretty much proof that team, Matt Campbell, biting off kneecaps, that team looks scary. They play tough. They're just the Vikings is really the only question mark right now, but they're on the clock at 10, and they need a QB as well. So it's going to be curious, you know, what do the Vikings need? What are their needs? They could go QB. I think that's probably their number one need. Do you grab the Michael Penix Jr. off the board? Is there any other QBs out there that you really like that they could go ahead and try to pick up? You still got guys out there like Bo Nix. Trying to think of other ones that I'm missing out here. But who do you like for the Vikings on this one?
I necessarily don't really like the Bo Nix pickup. I don't know. It reminds me too much of I just don't. It just reminds me of those quarterbacks that they pick up and then they say, "Oh, I want to move into receiver. I want to move them to," you know, like I don't think. Maybe that's harsh. Maybe I feel like I'm hating. Am I hating?
No, I mean, I don't. Let's be real here. The quarterbacks. Look at like I was just talking about Justin Fields. Look at that 2021 draft class. That was the last quote unquote loaded. Look at all these QBs. Someone's going to hit big. We're all still waiting. We're all still trying to figure out who's going to be that guy. So, you know, who knows with Bo Nix? I'm not sold on him. I could be dead wrong, but that's what we're doing. We're projecting. That's what the NFL GMs are doing. They're doing their damnedest as well to try to get the right guy in place. JJ McCarthy, probably the other big option out there. I'm not sold on JJ McCarthy either. I understand he led a program and he won. So I understand that, but to me, it gives me Mac Jones vibes. It really does. And it's just nothing really stands out. And I know you can manage a game, but I think, you know, I think there's 60 quarterbacks in the league who can manage games well. I just don't see a thing where, okay, like, oh, this guy, I need him on my team. Like, remember, like, you know, look back, Jalen Hurts coming out of college. You're like, okay, this dude's tough. Like, this dude can run the football. This dude can really throw. He's knowledgeable, and he's a really, really good leader. Okay, cool. We look at Kyler Murray. Okay, this dude, he has elite speed, elite quickness, elite pocket awareness, and elusiveness, and he throws a great ball. Okay, cool. Baker Mayfield, even. Okay, we're getting on the athletic side. The athletic side of things are going down a little bit, but what does he have? He has a great arm. He has really good feet, and he's a elite leader, and he's very, very confident. You know, he's a loud guy, but he just has a different type of just fire to him, right? And you look at JJ McCarthy, I'm like, okay, you know, good ball. I mean, throws a good ball. I mean, he manages the game well, but it's just like, I don't think he's been in enough scenarios where it's like he's had to really put the team on his shoulders. He's always had two phenomenal backs in the best O-line in the nation. You know, and that's no knock on him. That's not a knock on him. It's really just, we just haven't seen it yet. So what does that look like? I don't know. I don't know what it looks like when he gets put in a real NFL system where he has a 2-minute drive and he has to throw the ball down the field and make some good reads and go through his progressions. And it's not like, you know, play action, roll out, because they set it up
the whole game. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just levels to it, and I wonder to see how he gonna translate.
Yeah, you bring up fair points, because I think with Michael Penix Jr. versus Oregon, that was the game that really put a lot of people notice. Bo Nix was like a Heisman favorite for a lot of people, and then here comes that Washington game. A lot of pressure on it because people were pretty high on Michael Penix Jr., probably not to the same degree, but he owns that game. And then Michael Penix Jr. jumps Bo Nix, and he has that moment where he really proves himself because he had to put a lot of balls right on the dime to come back and win that game. And it was impressive. High pressure situation, pressure cooker, whatever you want to call it. And he performed at an elite level. With Michigan, again, it's not a knock on J.J. McCarthy. You'd be a fool. The coaching staff would be a fool to throw the ball around the yard if they don't have to, when they can just dominate people up front. Because not only is that demoralizing, it's efficient, it's effective, and it's a low risk. And if it's working, why get away from it? But I will give him this. Accurate. 4 interceptions, 25 touchdowns. You'll take that. Like, that is a massive factor in the NFL. Right. And maybe that's where I'm too hard on him. Like, maybe I need to pay attention. Like, yeah, he isn't asking to be doing a lot, but when he is asked to do it, he's been able to execute just about every single time. Now, maybe it's because he has the best offensive line in the pocket, and he can think about what he's going to have for supper before he even has to throw the ball. But it's also just incredibly impressive for him, like, to execute that well. And I know you played Michigan. I mean, you know what that offensive line looks like. I know you didn't have to play against it, but just to see your own teammates. I mean, it's been elite. It's been elite for years. And it's going to be interesting to see what they look like next year with Jim Harbaugh out of there. And with the Chargers, if they kind of develop more into that, we're going to attack you a little more closer to that 50-50 as opposed to just throwing the ball as much as they have. Keenan Allen out of the picture too. We might see some decent seismic shifts on how that offense operates. I mean, it just happens with a new coach, and especially we know what Jim Harbaugh likes to do. I don't think it's going to be to the level of the Tennessee Titans where that's their identity, but I think they're going to mix it in there. But yeah, with J.J. McCarthy, he's got question marks, not because he hasn't performed well, but he just hasn't in that situation where they have so many weapons, and he wasn't necessarily throwing insane passes. He had good wide receivers as well to go ahead and get open, and then just great route runner. So he wasn't throwing, 50, 60, 70 yards down the field. He was throwing a lot of shorter routes, hooks, quick slants, but he was delivering with a high level of accuracy. So he's probably the biggest question mark in here. And speaking of him, Minnesota Vikings, they do go ahead and take J.J. McCarthy. What do you like about this move? Number 10 pick overall in the NFL draft. Minnesota Vikings select J.J. McCarthy. How do you like
and remind me real quick, who's the quarterback of the Vikings right now? I know they got rid of
Dobbs.
Dobbs. Okay, well, yeah, it looks like they got their guy then. And yeah, I mean, the thing about it is,
Sam Darnold. I forgot this is gonna happen to you. Sam Darnold's over there. They got it, but
oh wow,
I think that should be interesting.
Yeah, I think either you let him sit and you let him learn, or he's gonna get thrust into a role here soon. I would say, maybe if not this year, then the next year. But yeah, I mean that's a great pick. I forget what other quarterbacks are still on the board.
Bo Nix is probably the last big name out there. Yeah, I think you guys can chime in 402-464-5685. But I think those quarterbacks you can try to get later. So not that they're not good, but you might be a fool to waste that high of a pick unless you think you got something and you don't want to risk waiting on him. If there's another quarterback out there, or even if you're high on Bo Nix, feel free to chime in. Starter Heyman text line as always. But I mean, you're going to pair him with the best wide receiver, or at least one of the best wide receivers in the league, and Justin Jefferson. And you give that guy some 50-50 balls, he's going to make your confidence go up quite a bit because he's going to come down with those more often than not. And if he isn't, he'll play DB even for you because he's just that good. I mean, Justin Jefferson has some catches. They're just incredible where it's a bad ball. He switches in his head to play DB, finds a way, and it almost looks like a pick the way he's coming off it, trying to get the ball. So I like it. I think they needed a quarterback. It makes sense. And you do got Aaron Jones back there as well. I know he's an older running back, but that's going to give you some comfort as well. You got an elite back. And if you need somebody for pass pro, you're feeling pretty good about the protection around you. The Vikings, I think it's the right move with the quarterbacks left on the board. I would probably still take JJ McCarthy over Bo Nix. Again, I just like the accuracy.
Yeah.
That's Josh Allen's arguably the only guy in recent history to really challenge you can't fix your accuracy at that level. It really just does become that muscle memory. It is what it is. Josh Allen out of Wyoming, he really did start to patch that together and fix it and got way more efficient, but that typically isn't the case. So it makes sense if you're looking for that accurate guy, especially at the NFL level where those turnovers will absolutely kill you and lose a game for you. You know, in college, you can be in the net negative quite a few times and still find ways to win games just because teams aren't that efficient. NFL, brutal. If you're turning the ball over and over, you're just not going to win a lot of games. And, you know, even here in Nebraska, we've seen it, but we still had opportunities, which is amazing, to try to close those games out. Whereas one series, one play where we just fell short, NFL, you don't stand a chance. If you're coughing the ball over like that, teams are too good at milking clock. Coaching's too good at assessing situations. It just becomes brutal. But I do like it. Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, kind of the big names in that room that you can pair him up with. I don't hate it. I think they needed a quarterback, and I think that was the best one left on the board. With that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. We got the NFL draft on the TV next to me. We got Chancellor Brewington, the former Husker tight end. We'll be curious to see where Brock Bowers out of Georgia, where he gets picked, because he's still a big name out there on the board. Obviously, the tight ends are always kind of tough to figure out when you want to pick them up because they're going to be typically later, unless it's just that standout of a player. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if some team jumps up here pretty quick, tries to grab him. So we'll go through it. Again, NFL draft live, round 1 tonight. Throwing it to break here on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the host as always.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the host as always. Calling in on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And if you guys want to join in, another big pick, we'll go through these as they're coming in here. 402-464-5685. The last pick, we left off with J.J. McCarthy to the Minnesota Vikings out of Michigan. And now we get to the New York Jets. I'm going to do my best to pronounce his name. You got Omu Inuao Fashanu out of Penn State. And I'll challenge anybody to try to say his first name confidently and successfully. But Fashanu is how you say his last name. Another offensive tackle out of Penn State to the New York Jets. How do you like the pick to get another blue chip offensive lineman to out of Penn State to the New York Jets? And we may have lost Chancellor Brewington. To be quite honest, not hearing him here. So Chancellor Brewington.
Oh, right. I'm right here.
Okay, yeah. So Fashanu out of Penn State, offensive tackle, heading to the New York Jets. How do you like the fit?
It's good. I thought maybe Chicago was going to pick him up. But I mean, that's a good pick. I think he's a very, very elite player. I think he's got that all pro, that Pro Bowl caliber player. I think all I would say minus some of the quarterbacks, I think everyone that's been picked so far has that kind of Pro Bowl caliber so far. But like we talked about right before the break, I still think Brock Bowers might be the steal of this draft.
Yeah, Brock Bowers. I mean, he's going to be interesting survey lens. He's still not picked yet. He's still out there on the board. But yeah, Fashanu, I think he gave up 0 sacks last season. So not a bad pick there. And again, when it comes to a lot of these linemen, they get so many reps that I think it is one of those position groups does it a lot easier to try to figure out. So is it a good fit? Most of the times the answer is yes. Knocking on wood that there isn't injury problems or something that comes up or just a personality issue. But more often than not, I mean, your offensive linemen tend to be some of the most humble guys out there just due to the position they play. I think it's a good move for the New York Jets. You could argue, try to get more offense in there, but could even argue, maybe try to grab a different wide receiver, running back, whatever it may be. But let's talk about the next pick, because the Denver Broncos probably take the last big-name quarterback off the board. They go ahead and draft Bo Nix, 11th overall, to the Denver Broncos. And we just kind of talked about him. But with the Denver Broncos, how do you like that one panning out and your confidence level that Bo Nix on the Denver Broncos to be able to figure it out?
So refresh me. There's no quarterback on the Broncos right now, right?
Zach Wilson. he's over there.
Oh my goodness.
Zach
Okay.
Wilson and Sam Darnold always find ways to keep their names in the mix. But yeah, they got Zach Wilson and some key players. Obviously, Cortland Sutton's still out there. You still got, I'm blanking on Judy. Is Judy, did he get traded?
I think he did get traded.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing him. I'm blanking on where he got traded to. But yeah, I mean, they got some.
It wasn't Falcons, was it?
It might have been. Well, I'll look that one up. But yeah, so I mean, he's going to be competing with Zach Wilson. Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos, though. Not a ton of weapons out there. You can Jarrett Stidham too if you want to go through all the quarterbacks on that roster. But I mean, we kind of talked about it. How high are you on Bo Nix, especially after we went from that massive game versus Michael Penix Jr., where the opinion on him kind of shifted, and I thought he would probably be drafted above J.J. McCarthy. I know I kind of defended him in the last segment, but I liked a lot of parts of his game. What are you thinking here? What's the ceiling of Bo Nix?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, especially because they already have Zach Wilson there. He's not really proven himself in the league. Had some struggles with the Jets. I mean, as a coach, I'm probably looking. Probably Bo Nix is probably going to be my guy. Just depending on how well he performs. Looking now having a mature mindset, he's probably not going to be the guy, but I would say that they would be ready to push him into that role sooner rather than later, because I could imagine that the Broncos are eager to win. And obviously that whole debacle with Russell Wilson last year, hearing some of the stories, I don't know the full truth, but I know Sean Payton, that he has a system in play and that he runs things a certain way. And I think Bo Nix would be a good fit there. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably the right move to make, just because we went through the quarterbacks. I mean, instead of Wilson, makes sense. If Bo Nix is on the board, I think you got to take him. If you want to really turn that franchise around, you went from the Russell Wilson era, that didn't pan out. You got to get something for that fan base to be excited about. And Jerry Jeudy, yes, he is on the Cleveland Browns, is where he ended up. So you don't have him out there anymore.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Yep. So again, kind of a bummer to not have another great weapon out there. But they'll have some more picks here to figure it out. But let's talk about the next guy, because we just got done talking about, we're waiting for his name to get called. Brock Bowers out of Georgia, heading to the Oakland Raiders. This one feels like a surefire one. He was a great blocker and a really high reception tight end as well. 2021 was a great season, 56 receptions as a freshman, 13 touchdowns. You go next year, 63 receptions, ups that number, 7 touchdowns. And then 2023, only 10 games played. And this is the important part, because he had that high ankle sprain his senior year. 10 games played, he still puts up a whopping 714 yards receiving, averaging about 12 per catch, 6 touchdowns on 6 attempted throws in the end zone. So again, or 6 attempts. So again, he highly efficient, great hands. I just like the move for him. I mean, 62 plays, put up those kind of numbers in only 10 games and get 56 receptions as well. Brock Bowers to the Oakland Raiders. What do you like about it?
I like everything about it. I think whatever system, whatever team, I don't think every good team in the league has a good tight end, and they utilize their tight end. You look across the board. If you name any team, they probably have a good tight end, or they probably utilize them. And I would say the best teams utilize them. You look at the Chiefs, the way they use Kelsey. You look at who else? I'm blinking right now. But
on the Chicago Bears, they use him really well. You got Smith on that. Well, Smith didn't really get utilized all that well. But again, those tight ends, when you see those elite ones out there, they stick out and they become massive problems for any defense. If you got a tight end that has that connection with the quarterback, where a guy, I know Kelsey's the ultimate prime example, but when you have a guy like
Mark
that,
Andrews,
another good one.
But just
go ahead.
Just the talent that Brock Bowers has is he's a unique. I think he's probably one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in a while. I mean, this dude is special, and I think we haven't heard much about him in this process through January, February, March. I think was truly because he didn't test at all, and there was. There's not a lot of chatter and like, oh, if he would have ran a 4.4 or 4.5, like we're all talking about him and things like that. He jumps a 40, we're all talking about him, but he didn't do those things. But his film speaks so loudly. That's one of those guys where his film talks, and he doesn't necessarily need to test because I don't think he has a gap in his game. I mean, he can run routes from the outside. He can run routes from a 3-point. He can block. He's a really aggressive blocker. He has great footwork. He's a great pass catcher. He makes guys miss after the catch. We call that yards after catch. That's yak. He high points the ball well. I mean, he does everything well. I think Brock Bowers might be the most efficient player to come out of this draft. That's a bold claim. That's a bold claim. But I think he'll be the name if he stays healthy. I think he'll be the name where we look back to that game like that. What class was that? Oh yeah, it was Brock Bowers' class. I think it's going to be like that.
You might not be wrong. He seems like a surefire pick, and that's why there is an argument to see. Yes, there's quarterbacks on the board. There's elite wide receivers. But again, we've seen what elite tight ends can do, and it's not just the receiving end. Like, he's great blocker too. And if you're going to play for Georgia, you got to have that part of your DNA. The way you can kind of bully teams into it. But, you got Brock Bowers and Devontae Adams out there as well. And then the quarterbacks, you probably throw some question marks. That's going to be the real key to this thing. Gardner Minshew, maybe Aiden O'Connell takes that next step and becomes that guy. But I like the move a lot. Just because for the fact that there's no more quarterbacks on the board that you'd really want to risk that high of a draft pick for. Unless, again, there might be somebody out there that you think's underrated and unknown that isn't getting the attention they deserve, but I think that's absolutely the right move. He seems like a surefire, and it's not a guy that I'm really worried about not adjusting well to the NFL. So Brock Bowers out of Georgia, only 10 games his senior year because of that high ankle sprain, still put up crazy numbers. I mean, to have that many receptions, to be in the 50s with 10 games played, and just be that consistent of a pass catcher, it's going to be fun to watch. And how does that quarterback situation shake out? It will be interesting to see, but they do got a defense. It's one thing you give the Raiders credit for. They got a defense that whoever's out there on offense, you're going to have multiple opportunities. And we saw it with the Chiefs last season where it felt like that was going to be the Chiefs scheme. They were going to win their division. And then here come the Oakland Raiders, not killing teams with their offense, but defensively, we're just becoming a nightmare down the stretch to play. So Brock Bowers to Georgia. We got some more picks to talk about on the other side, but we are getting up to our next break here. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington. The host is always on the Owl VIP line. Don't go anywhere. One more segment. It'll be short on the other side. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska's always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite MLB teams this spring and summer, as well as Nebraska baseball. Enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early and grab your spot and settle in for an afternoon or evening of baseball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison runs on the ones and twos. You're listening to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the former Husker tight end and host, as always, on the Allo VIP line with me. We got the NFL draft going on. I got it on the TV here to my left, catching up the names. All the best quarterbacks, you can argue, have been taking out. Brock Bowers, the elite tight end out of Georgia, heading to the Oakland Raiders. That was the last one we talked about. Another blue chip lineman off the board. Number 14 to the New Orleans Saints. And to pronounce his name, it is Talise Fuaga out of Georgia, out of Oregon State. Again, when it comes to those offensive linemen, he's just got so many reps, and these stats back him up. I don't hate the move for the Saints. I'm always just kind of high when you can build up a solid offensive line. You can look at, even a team like the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson, even though things weren't going great, they get great offensive linemen and great running backs to kind of help aid whatever that skill player situation looks like. But again, Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State, the offensive tackle, heading to the New Orleans Saints. And since we're getting towards the end here, out of all these picks so far, which guy are you just most excited to watch? Not projecting that he's going to be the best, but the players drafted so far, who are you most excited to watch hit the NFL in this upcoming season?
Definitely excited for Brock Bowers. I'm definitely excited for Marvin Harrison as well. I think he's a freak talent. I think he could have played in the league last year. And I'm especially excited to see which quarterback flourishes the most, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's Drake, whether it's
Jaden Daniels, Drake May, there's quite a few of them
Drake
this year.
May, whether it's Penix. Like I don't know which one it's going to be, but I personally love the way Penix plays. I think he's a star. I think his release, just the way that ball comes out of his hand, is special. I think this offensive lineman and the one from Penn State, and I don't know if Oregon has a center that's really, really special. He'll probably get picked here soon, but yeah, these first 15, 16 picks, I love the way the draft is going. I'm excited to see what defensive player we'll see taken off. I think it's all been offensive so far.
It's all been on the offensive side.
mistaken.
Dallas Turner's still out there. I mean, that's, if you like your edge rushers, he's probably the guy that I think you put him on the left side coming off the edge. You've seen those guys be problems. It's not, Aiden Hutchinson, when he got drafted out of Michigan, he popped off right away in Detroit, and he was the difference maker. So I still think he's a big name out there, like you said.
Yeah, I think another one, and some people feel whatever type of way. I know he's an Iowa guy, but Cooper DeJean, I think he's a special guy. I think he's one of them guys that didn't need to test because obviously the injury, but either way, like, he doesn't need to. He's shown it on the field. Got the privilege to play against him. He's a great talent in itself. So yeah, I'm excited. I think he's a guy that will definitely be taken off the first round.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of big name quarterbacks to watch this year. And the craziest part is we've seen this with quarterbacks. They might all not work. Like every single one of them. You could have an 07 type year where you look back, and that's the Jamarcus Russell year when he went to the Raiders. And I had to bring that up because I had DeMornay Pierce-Nell, the Raiders fan, on here. And I gave him, a bunch of crap for it. But just that whole QB class, if you took a QB, you made the wrong choice. None of those guys panned out. Maybe some of those were situation and it wasn't on the player itself, but that's just it. Like, the situation's got to be right. The quarterback's got to be in the right mindset. He can't let, the massive jump in social media. And that does kind of help today with the college game, how big social media is surrounding it. I do think sometimes that helps, but you look at a guy like Zach Wilson out of BYU going to New York, says a couple things in those press conferences, doesn't rub the fan base's ears the right way, and even, some of his teammates. It's tough. It's a lot of things to manage. So situation's massive, and it's never a guarantee, especially in the quarterback position. You call them the blue chip lineman for a reason. Those guys typically pan out. Running backs, you kind of get their size and their speed and their ball security. They're a lot more easier to pick out as well. Wide receivers, for whatever reason, don't seem to be that way. We got our own guy in Trey Palmer that a lot of teams probably wish they would have jumped and tried to grab instead of picking somebody else because the impact he's had on the Buccaneers. And then we got to shout out, even our guy, we got a former Husker. He's got a show that typically goes tonight, but again, possibly could get drafted. Not expecting, obviously, to get drafted in the first round, but Nuri, he's a guy that is hoping to have his name called. And this is why the draft is always awesome. You just never know who's actually going to pan out. You get a Tom Brady, a Brock Purdy. It's just so bizarre how these things shake out and who those best players really end up being. Because you look at the best quarterbacks in the league, most of the time they're not the number one overall pick. Very often are they the number one overall pick. So as excited as I am for the Chicago Bears to land an awesome weapon at wide receiver, an awesome weapon at the quarterback position, it's just never a guarantee. So that's what's going to be fun. A lot of big names out there, but we are running out of time. Chancellor Brewington, the host as always, appreciate the time, even though he's on the road, still keeps the show going here on the Allo VIP line. Chancellor, I'll talk to you again next week, man.
All right. Everyone have a blessed day. Blessed day.
That's it for Chancellor Brewington. And again, shout out to him still making time to get his show in on time as scheduled. And again, appreciate you guys listening. I've been Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. And we got one more show later tonight, the Daily Nebraskan. That'll be a great rundown. They'll go through the draft for you as well. And I'll be at that point when they give you the full synopsis of how everything shook down. So again, appreciate you guys listening. And I will talk to you again this Saturday for the Husker Spring Game.